Hello, my name is Duncan and welcome to Back Away from the Donkey, Bath Books. Today is I'm going to just do a little series of videos and it's to do with what's in the box. If you watched my video about the box that I thought was a gift from a friend of mine, well, it was a gift from a friend of mine, but in fact ended up being a box of my own books from 30 odd years ago. There was quite a few things in there I thought they were perfectly picked up for me. They were, because I picked them. If you want to see the videos about that, I've got a playlist which I will put down below, and I might put links at the end of this. So basically, I'm going to go over time. I'm going to go through some of the things that were in there, and maybe I just reread them, or maybe I'll just be showing them to you. So the first one we're going to do today is what I found in the box, was Robert Heinlein's Methuselah's Children, and I just reread this a couple of weeks back, just when I got the box, and so I reread the copy I discovered this story with. In 1986, I think I picked this up. This is a printed edition. Really nice 80s cover. I don't know who did the artwork for that, but I do like that. So yeah, rereading it was quite interesting. It's a story that I've always remembered quite a bit. And if you don't know, it's the story of the Howard families, and specifically a character called Lazarus Long. Yes, yeah, Lazarus Long, which is a name that sounds like Stanley invented for a superhero. And they are genetically long-lived families that live a lot longer than normal people, hundreds of years you're talking. And Lazarus Long is the oldest one of them. And basically it's there what happens when the rest of the people on Earth discover that they exist, because they've been sort of, they've basically been doing eugenics for centuries to keep themselves long-lived. But yeah, it's an interesting story. It's in two parts. It was originally serialized, if I remember off the top of my head, in one of the science fiction magazines, and I can't remember which one. But this book is in two parts. There is part one, part two. The second part is about a third of the book, and it was quite interesting rereading it. For me, the first part of the book is a lot stronger, which is when you're discovering who these people are and what happens when they are outed into Earth society. And the second part of the book almost feels like a different book, which is quite interesting. Quite interesting that way. What you find with a lot of science fiction of this era that was originally serialized in magazines, if they print it as it is, sometimes it doesn't quite join together. It does feel like it's been serialized. Whereas if it's been edited well, it can work out really well, and it depends. I do not think this is as strong as Heinlein's books. My favourite books of his is probably Job, A Comedy of Justice. I really like Friday, Starship Troopers, obviously, and I quite like The Day After Tomorrow, even though that's got some issues to it as well. But Lazarus Long, the main character in Methuselah's Children, does appear in some of his other books, and I said it's a really enjoyable read. If you're into Heinlein, it's well worth picking up, well worth reading. And if you're not ready in Heinlein, I recommend this is your first book of his to read. You could do worse. But yeah, it was really interesting, because I said this was in the box from mine from 30 years ago, and I remember the sort of reading this. I think at the same time I read Starship Troopers probably for the first time, because I've been going through lots of Asimov before then. But no, it was just a really interesting book to find in that box of one of the ones I did. And I did pick it out as the first one from there to read, because I knew Heinlein for me is quite an easy read. It just sort of flows. I quite like his writing style. You can get a little preachy at points, but I do think he makes you think for yourself quite a bit. But yeah, so that was my first read from the what's in the box. And I said I'm going to do some more videos. Some of them I read, some of them may be longer than this, some of them may be shorter, but I just thought this is a nice little short video just to do for the day. So this is my copy of Methuselah's Children that I originally brought in about 1986. And I've just read again for the second time, because it's reappeared from the past. And I said down below I'll put the playlist that I'm going to do of all these little videos, and hopefully over the next weeks, months, I'll be picking out other books and magazines that I had in my infamous box. And I will speak to you all very soon. Bye bye.